Back in 2022, PNB Rock was beginning to get his career on track. After settling in LA with his baby mama, the rapper was looking to bring himself back to the level of prominence he was at back at the height of his fame. Unfortunately, it seems as if the combination of his name recognition and the wealth he openly displayed eventually became a recipe for disaster that ultimately set the stage for his tragic fate on the floor of a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles. But while the reports initially claimed that the people who took his life were simply trying to rob him after discovering his whereabouts, new evidence and details have emerged that show there's much more to the story than what we previously thought. My name is Whoiscam, and these are the last 24 hours of PNB Rock. Although he grew up in Philly and even took his stage name from the two German streets that raised him in Pastorius and Baint, the rapper, whose real name is Rakim Allen, settled in LA 2 years prior to the issue that would soon take his life. While he was there, he spent most of his time around his daughter and baby mother Stephanie Siebenhuang. Beyond that, he was focused on rebuilding his career, aspiring to once again reach the heights that he did on tracks such as Selfish. Over time, Rock started settling into the Cali lifestyle, but he wasn't naive. He knew a city ran by Crips and Bloods for years wasn't exactly the safest place for a young rapper rocking jewelry and cash. At first, he was taken aback by how bold and open they were about their criminal behavior, especially compared to what he grew up around.
Where I'm from, we like sneaky criminals. Like in LA, it's like they bold. It's like they want you to know. They want to spark a conversation with you first before they get into some shit. Some of them might just go crazy.
In that same interview with Academics, which went live just 2 years before his death, he discussed an altercation that he had on Fairfax of all places.
This one, like we outside, we on Fairfax. I'm like, man, you know, I already peed the bitch. We out.
Gangsters out there on Fairfax.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm on Fairfax right now. So I'm like, man, we out of here. You feel me? Like, we going. My girl, like, no, we ain't. What's wrong? I'm like, I'm just going off of the vibes. Like, we out.
Is she peeping the energy? Because I'm
she
you
ain't
on
peeping.
point.
Yeah, she ain't peeping. We drive probably like 2 blocks in the street. She thinking this shit a game. She pulled over somewhere else. Like, oh, I wanted to go to this store right here. And then in a mix of me, like telling her like where to park at, it's like somebody just came fast as shit and took the parking spot, like the same spot that we.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, they must have been following me or something, bro. How the fuck this car get behind me this fast? Like I ain't even look. I look back and that shit was there quick as shit. And then when I walked past, like the car bombed out. Like this shit tinted to the max.
Oh yeah.
But despite all the danger that surrounded him all his life, PNB had miraculously managed to avoid getting held up. Still, he was well aware that he had to move correctly if he wanted to keep things that way.
No, I never got robbed, ever in my life. I done seen people die, I done been around people that died, but when that shit hit you.
Bro, listening to him explain this and knowing how he passed away, that's kind of scary, bro. That'll make me want to leave Cali. Cause it's like, I already know what come with it. I'm explaining what come with it in the interview. And then years pass on, or whatever the case may be, same thing happened to me exactly how I explained it in the interview. That's scary, bro. RP, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, for real, RP to PNB Rock, man, cause that's scary, bro. And all, like, literally, bro, I get. Me personally, if I saw a celebrity, I wouldn't trip. I wouldn't even really want to bother them. But like, I don't get how you just want to like do that to somebody, bro. That's kind of that's wicked, bro. That is crazy.
Yeah, crib. It's like, you know, like, all right, no, this shit real life. You feel me? Like anybody can die. The last person that you expected could die.
It doesn't make you nervous though, like.
Oh, it make me just alert. But I still be on some shit like, even out the country, I be feeling like it's niggas like that out here too.
In this sense, he acknowledged his visibility and accessibility to the public, noting that he must remain aware of that if he was going to be safe.
Label just put me in certain places that I didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? They just let me meet people that I would have never met. Outside of that, I was a ground worker. You feel me? Like I'm on the ground, I'm touching the people. You feel me? Like I'm really like out here in the clubs, in the streets. You could see me, you could feel me. You feel me? I wasn't one of them type of people, and I'm still like that. That's where I be saying, like, I gotta be have to sometimes remember, like, nigga, you famous. You feel me? Like you gotta move a little different. But that just come down to that.
Because of his fame and the flashy lifestyle that came with it, PNB had to be on his guard. But that wasn't the case the night before tragedy struck. That evening, he was at his close friend and fellow MC T Grizzly's engagement party. A chance to celebrate a longtime ally and previous collaborator, PNB and Stephanie enjoyed a night out away from the prying eyes of the public. And at that event, everyone was flexing their jewelry.
Plain James, bust downs. He's been, at least 60 and up, everybody in this bitch.
Now, what should have been a night for joy for everyone involved is now overshadowed by sadness. Because for T Grizzly and everyone in attendance, it would be the last time they would ever see PNB again.
Talk about losing PNB Rock, who was somebody who you were close with.
Man, that was fucked up, bro. That was hard. Feel like you lost a genuine friend. Feel like I lost a genuine friend in this shit. And genuine friends in this business is hard to come by.
Yeah.
You know, so that was tough for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like you were with him the day before, maybe?
At the engagement party, yeah.
Still, it's clear that Rock's last night with his friends was a highly enjoyable time. Shortly after Rock's passing, Grizzly revealed in another interview that PNB was lit that night.
Long live PNB Rock, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What was y'all last conversation?
Our last conversation, he was telling me like, man, I'm happy ain't nobody see me sneak off and throw up.
I was just kicking it.
Yeah, like he was at the engagement party like super drunk, and he don't drink like that, like he a lightweight. You know what I'm saying? So bro, like he probably was like 8 shots in, went to the bathroom, threw it all up, and he was just telling me, you like, man, I had so much fun though, like I ain't got no hangover. You know what I'm saying?
The next day, PNB and his girlfriend headed out to run some errands, but he faithfully did so while wearing a lot of his jewels. When he was initially moving to LA, his lawyer warned him that he should keep himself looking pretty incognito. Avoid sharing a specific location until you've left, and never post your current location. When you have jewelry,
Bro, it's a little different in Cali, bro. You gotta move accordingly, and that's sad that you gotta do it like that. But if you a successful person in Cali, bro, you can't just be out here, even though it's a glitz and glamour in Cali, bro. You can't be, especially if you're a rapper. If you're a rapper, that's a different feel right there, because now you got them niggas really like watching you. Cali is a dangerous place, bro. It's a dangerous spot. See, I only know that because, like, salutes to the good people over there back on Fig and all that, man. They be really getting into detail on how I get down there. But I feel like just for the culture of Cali, like if you know, like the culture, like we're wearing certain colors, certain hats, and all that, you can't. But that's scary though. That's scary because you move to a place that you think, I ain't gonna really say like that because it's bad everywhere you go. No matter where in the book, it's gonna be like some trouble there somewhere. But like, basically what I'm saying is, it's sad that you can move to a place so beautiful like Cali and it come with so many problems. Especially like with what you see in Cali. Like you see, like, yeah, you see the bad parts, but like it's luxury, and within that you still it might be a chance that you could lose your life just because you got some success and they want some money out of it. That's sick. That is sick, bro.
you are a target. This wasn't just the advice of an attorney, but the sort of wisdom he could get directly from the streets. After his passing, Ice-T shared a similar sentiment on Twitter, reflecting on how dangerous it can be to move carelessly in his city. If you notice, LA rappers don't wear a lot of jewelry. Me, Snoop, Cube, Game, Kendrick, the list goes on. It's not cause we're broke. LA is just a dangerous place, rapper or not. And speaking of the Game, he seemed to know exactly how precarious a rapper's life was out in the city. Because years before PNB's life would be cut tragically short, he outlined a situation that was very, very similar to what happened to him on a 2007 track entitled Murda, where he spit, "When you eat at Roscoe's, watch out for the chain snatcher. Take it off slow, or you might get killed. If the Grape Street Crips don't catch you, the Rolling 60s will."
That's a beautiful song.
Still,
right
for
there.
whatever reason, Rock didn't really get the memo, and others had tried to intervene in the past. According to Whack 100, he had previously looked out for him when Rock was moving recklessly in New Mexico.
I know PNB was just with us in New Mexico at Albuquerque at a show. You know what the he did to me? He walks in our dressing room, all this jewelry, where your security? He told me God got me. You know what I did? Took my security.
Whack be like saying a lot, so I don't be knowing what to believe and what not to believe. But I feel PNB Rock. I got you, but yeah. In dangerous place like Cali, you got a security, especially with all them jewels on like that. You shining.
Guard named Pet Bull offered Blueface and put him on him. You know why? PNB would have got robbed or rushed over there. Who they was gonna blame? Who you think they would have blamed?
You.
That's a fact.
Even when Wack took this preventative step, PNB still believed that he had the world on his side.
You can't run around like this. Now, if PNB would have been in that Roscoe's with none of that jewelry, they probably would have asked him to take a picture. If he would have gave it up, he'd still be here.
So you're saying that the PNB Rock didn't want to give us jewelry?
Definitely did. He was hesitating. You in the jungle of Los Angeles County. They ain't playing. Them niggas got a 35-second window. Either you gonna give it to them willingly, or they gonna take it their best way they can.
But in September of 2022,
that
his luck
chain is
unfortunately
crazy.
ran out, and the news brought hip-hop to a standstill.
Was a rapper named PNB Rock, and he had a lot of devoted fans. One of them spoke to us here at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle this morning, and he says he is heartbroken.
He was unique. He had a specific, his tone of voice was just, you know, something you never heard before. And he talked about like the struggle.
It was 1:16 p.m. on September 12th when the assailant emerged through the doors of Roscoe's. After a brief commotion where Rock tried to retrieve his gun from his jeans, PNB was killed right in front of his girlfriend. All the while, the restaurant's unarmed security guard fled the scene, leaving Rock to fend for himself. In the scuffle, he was shot in the chest and back, and when cops arrived 10 minutes later, they tried their best to revive him, but sadly, he passed away. In the immediate aftermath, hip-hop was shocked and horrified. Meanwhile, the cops began to piece together a motive, and it all came back to the haul of jewelry he had on him.
He had 2 watches, several chains, rings on his fingers, and these are not just costume jewelry. Chains that, you know, do gain attention.
After he told Wack that he had it covered, this was the same rhetoric that he gave his girlfriend Stephanie. This time, however, it all came crashing down. And by the time they waited 40 minutes to get their food, everything had already started to unravel. Understandably, Stephanie would have been traumatized by what she saw, and as the news of the crime spread, the initial narrative didn't help. Because rather than blame the people who are responsible, a lot of the chatter around the killing seemed to center on her IG post, which showed that they were at Roscoe's. Even the cops didn't help, with Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore declaring that he was telling his family with his girlfriend or some kind of friend of his, and as they were there, he was brutally attacked by an individual who apparently came to the location after a social media posting. Then, rappers weighed in too, with many of them suggesting that the blame was on her head. Specifically, Kodak Black took it to the extreme, claiming that hoe might as well off herself. Nicki Minaj added to this perception that Stephanie was to blame, telling her millions of barbs that after Pop Smoke, there's no way we as rappers or our loved ones are still posting locations to our whereabouts. To show Waffles and some fried chicken, he was such a pleasure to work with. Condolences to his mom and family. This makes me feel so sick. Jesus. Hashtag PNB Rock. But it wasn't exactly unanimous, with rappers such as Nicki's rival, Cardi B, coming to Stephanie's aid. I highly doubt they were looking at PNB's baby mom's IG. He was in a bad location and people stay outside plotting. It's very irresponsible and inconsiderate to blame her for something so tragic. We should be sending her nothing but love. This opinion was echoed by his lawyer, who said that, I believe he was probably followed. It doesn't make sense to me that the murders were—
I ain't gonna lie, it kind of worked both ways. I feel like it was part of the jury, but he was probably being followed anyways from the beginning. So it was a mix-up between him being followed, jury being real loud, her posting on social media. So it's a mix. It's really a mix-up.
Stalking her social media posts. Florio said. What his girlfriend did was very innocent. I can't fault her for that. Over time, people would wonder exactly what went down and if Stephanie truly had an inadvertent role in it. And slowly but surely, the truth about what really went down would come to light.
And everybody can stop blaming PNB Rock's girlfriend, because apparently these people were already at the restaurant's parking lot when PNB.
I told y'all niggas. It's always some other sides to the story. What did I just say? What did I just say before we push play? What did I just say? I simply said them niggas could be following them from the get-go, or the jury, or because of her posting. They was already following him because he was too loud from the jury. So
PNB arrived. These motherfuckers were hungry and broke. Okay, now they see PNB Rock pull up in that nice S-Class, got the diamonds all dancing, water dripping off his neck. They see the girlfriend also got a bunch of jewelry. They broke as ever. Now here's the thing, man. The father, pure coward. Okay, his name is Freddie Lee Trone. He's actually on the run. He allowed his son to get caught. His son was a shooter. So remember when I told y'all he was a shooter? He wasn't a shooter. His son, his 17-year-old son, was the shooter and the guy trying to rob a PNB Rock. He was the guy in the car waiting to try to be the getaway driver.
As the dust settled on the crime, authorities revealed that Freddie Lee Trone, 40, and his 17-year-old son were each charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of second-degree robbery, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit robbery. In addition, Trone's wife, Chantel, had also been arrested and charged with 1 count of being an accessory. In the wake of the event, District Attorney George Gaskin said PNB's killing had dimmed a bright light in the lives of his fans, friends, and most importantly, his family. The accused individuals' alleged actions in this case were heartless and cruel and robbed the world of Mr. Allen's talent. But as the investigation has progressed and sentences were bestowed on those responsible, new footage has shined the light on what really happened. And shockingly, it has been revealed that someone in Roscoe's was actually involved in setting up this horrendous crime. In the footage, a man could be seen fist bumping PNB Rock as he walked into the restaurant with over $500,000 in jewelry glistening on him. As it turns out, this unidentified individual was a regular fixture in the restaurant who decided to tip off Freddie Lee Trone and his child.
This surveillance footage shows PNB Rock and Stephanie walking in. It's lunchtime, 12:28 p.m. As they wait, a man seated to the right fist bumps the rapper, but the couple is quickly taken to a table.
As the investigation details came to light, everything we initially believed to be true was shattered. While it's often portrayed as a robbery gone wrong, the tragic outcome seemed inevitable, given how quickly the 17-year-old was to pull the trigger.
But at 1:16 p.m., a gunman walks inside ready to score.
There was some sort of verbal exchange at this point.
At 1:17 p.m., the unarmed security guard notices the commotion and flees. Seconds later, PNB Rock is shot.
In addition to detailing what went down, more footage has emerged, which seems to have put to bed the idea that Stephanie was either to blame or, as others have suggested, were in on it. After witnessing the shooting firsthand, Stephanie was taken to the precinct, and from the outset, her only concern was checking on him. Initially, she blamed herself right along everyone else.
When I sit down to eat, I see it. When it was low key, it wasn't no one in there. When we posting the chicken and the waffles.
This is unfortunately happening way too often.
But as she divulged what went down, she explained that she asked him to remove his chains.
Stephanie, I wouldn't sit here and blame yourself. You guys did wrong too. That's a lot of jewelry on.
Yeah, I told him to take it off.
Tragically, the police had to deliver the news that PNB had passed away. Anyone who questions the sincerity of her shock and distress clearly doesn't have a heart.
I'm sorry.
That's facts.
He passed away.
He did. He did, Stephanie.
Are you serious?
He did, serious. Yes. Okay. I'm very sorry. Do you have people out here that's gonna be by your side?
He was alright.
No matter what happens from here with her life, Stephanie has to carry that loss with her. However, it's become increasingly clear that it has nothing to do with her, and that 40-minute wait for food completely vindicates her. Because what they didn't realize as they sat there waiting for their meal was that the killers were already lurking nearby, ready to strike.
In that photograph was only the food. There wasn't an arm or jewelry or any type of wearable items, nothing valuable on the post. That could not have given enough time to orchestrate a plan.
This is where Tremont Jones comes into the picture. After he fist bumped him, he began making calls and alerted Freddie Trone Jr. too, who was in the store, and what he had on him.
But what they don't know, outside in the parking lot, a plot is being hatched to rob the rapper of the $500,000 in jewelry that he's wearing.
Dapping him up, then dropping him is so crazy.
I'm going to sleep after this one. I'm tired, man.
From there, Freddie Trone arrived and the plan was hatched. After they discussed what was going down, Freddie returned with his son, who exited the vehicle wearing a shiesty and a purple t-shirt. Soon, things would occur that would change everything for those involved.
As soon as he walked in, he pointed the gun at his stomach. He said, "Give me all that or I'll shoot you right now." And he just started shooting him. He took his rings off, necklaces off, took his 2 watches off, and he made me take my watch off. He said, "Give me that right now, I swear to God, I'll shoot you in the head." It sounds scary.
Once the deed was done, he and his father
hell?
fled in the getaway vehicle, and the son tossed his clothes into a dumpster. Afterwards, Freddie torched the car that was utilized to escape, which was a Buick that was registered to his wife. But he didn't know that Los Angeles PD.
This nigga done got the son involved, nigga done got the wife involved, and himself involved. And this nigga didn't even give PNB Rock a chance to take the jury off. Nigga gonna say, "Give me the jury or I will shoot you." Nigga proceeds to shoot him and take the jury off. Multiple times at that. Then he gonna turn around and tell the girlfriend the same thing. These niggas wildin', bro. What the fuck?
PD was hot on his trail. In another twist, Freddie made it clear that he'd throw anyone under the bus. When he was interrogated, he promptly tried to shift all the blame onto the shoulders of his son.
Freddie, this nigga is Thanos. This nigga is Satan himself. Nigga, how you gonna try to throw niggas underneath the boat? Bro, how you gonna try to throw niggas underneath the bus? Especially your son. You the one that came to him and said, "I got a mission. Let's go." Nigga, you're cooked, Freddie.
Later claiming he was dangerous on the stand.
He goes by PNB Rock. This is the case that we're investigating right now.
That's really unfortunate. God bless that young man's soul.
If y'all figured
this guy, my son did it, why he ain't hurt?
You're in here for murder. For 187.
In the end, the evidence was so abundant that they got a conviction without jewelry or a murder weapon being recovered. Freddie Lee Trone has been sentenced to 31 years to life in prison. Meanwhile, his son, who is now 19 years old, still awaits his fate. But Freddie still somehow maintains his innocence.
19?
In the aftermath of his passing, PNB Rock has unfortunately become not just another hip-hop legend that passed on too soon, but a cautionary tale. Although he moved to LA, PNB ultimately lulled himself into a false sense of security based on the rep he had in Philly.
This story comes down to this. PNB Rock, who probably was moving around LA in not a celebrity capacity, he was moving around like a regular guy, but it wasn't a regular guy that was broke. He was a guy who, number one, came from Philly, and that is also like sometimes that's a Trojan horse sometimes, where you come from a place where you're like, yo, I really was in the trenches of Philly. I know how real niggas give it up. So when you go out somewhere else, you're not thinking, oh, I'm a rich rapper that is now seen as sheep, that's now seen as food. I'm a real street nigga. Niggas gon' shit. I used to be them. I used to rob niggas. I used to whatever. You know, a wolf gonna respect a wolf. So a broke ass nigga, ain't no wolf got $500,000 in jewelry. You get what I'm saying?
While he maybe didn't heed the advice that he should have taken, PNB likely got around Los Angeles plenty of times without incident. But it only takes one time for things to go left and change everything.
There's a part of this that everybody likes to act like, oh, I would never be in that situation. But part of living life is these unexpected, just random events that could turn violent, right? Or could turn deadly. And
it is true, bro. In life, you gonna be at some random moments, and I call those your what the fuck moments. I hate those type of moments. I hate a WTF moment. But in life, you gonna have a WTF moment, and you gonna like think to yourself, you gonna turn, you gonna be like, what the fuck? But it happens. Happens, chat.
That's what that was. You have a nigga who's a loiterer. I don't even think that guy was probably a hater. That guy was probably just broke.
Among the most tragic aspects of PNB's passing was that after a few years of economic downturn, he was finally on the right path. After being signed to Atlantic, he finally escaped a deal that he had been trying to evade for a long time in order to go independent. For years, he fought to get out of it and regretted ever signing with them. Wish somebody would have sat and told me to not take the deal. I don't make money off my music, I got paper still. At Atlantic Records, I wanna buy out this BS ass deal y'all got me in. Y'all been making millions off me for years, haven't gave me 1 mil yet. Eventually, he gained his independence when he realized that the figures weren't adding up.
Why are you independent?
Pretty much because I wasn't making money like off of my music like that. You know what I'm saying? Like with the deal that I had, it was just like a beginner's deal, you know what I'm saying? And when we was trying to renegotiate for that shit, it was like, I was on my last 2 albums. It was like we was at a stalemate. We just really came to the agreement like, man, we don't
just
want
want
each
to
other.
like a bigger advance because I'm pretty sure
It wasn't no, like me personally, like I didn't know even about, I was getting a little money. I ain't gonna say they wasn't giving me no money, but it wasn't like the money that I was generating, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't think, the way they was kicking it to me, I felt like I was like not doing enough, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I needed to go harder. But when I started looking at the numbers and all of that shit and the money that you can generate off of these type of numbers, I'm like, hold up.
From there, he got on his independent grind, dropping music through Empire, and thankfully, he owned his masters, ensuring that long after he passed on, his family will be able to reap the rewards of his incredible talent. Although PNB's passing still stings for everyone involved, it has left a legacy of increased awareness of how rappers should conduct themselves on social media and when they're moving through territory they're not necessarily familiar with. In the aftermath, rappers like Kodak Black have clamped down on people recording him, citing PNB as an example of why it's best to keep a low profile.
Hey. No, check it out. No. Check it out, man. Don't record me, bro. Get off live. Man, you record me. I just saw you put the shit, you on live, but you just put the phone to my car, homie. Come on, you tripping. You don't see that shit that happened in PNB? You don't see what that shit that just happened in PNB Rock, homie? Nah, God forbid, but you know, ain't no shit, bitch, I'm saying, but at the same time, like, bitch, God forbid some crazy shit, then what? No plan. Come on, man, you tripping.
Despite the fact that he was just flexing the fruits of his labor, OGs understand that it isn't always interpreted that way. In the eyes of Akon, he would have never put himself in a situation like that, as it could be interpreted as a way to provoke those around.
Like, for example, would you pull up in your $150,000 car in South Central and grab some chicken and waffles?
Absolutely not. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna,
that's like a target.
Glorify my success with people that's still struggling.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. I think it's a certain level of how you communicate with people, and sometimes the communication can get distorted because it almost feel like it's this nana attitude. I made it and you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, most people may not take it that way, but I always calculate what if they do. You know, some people are more fortunate than others. Some been in the game long enough to work hard enough to get to where they are, but for the people that don't know your story, they just naturally assume that you feel comfortable enough to come in my hood and celebrate your success.
They'll be like us.
50 Cent also echoed the sentiment after what went down in LA, telling everyone that they need to be mindful of the mentalities out there.
A lot of times you watch the young boys because they'll go, yo, you ever don't wear your jewelry? And they'll go, nah, I wear mine everywhere I go. Like there's not another version of them.
Right.
Like there's not another guy that's just not special. He's exactly like you. He just don't have a song. When you feel like you're gonna get busy if you touch it, he feeling like I'm gonna get busy to get it.
Right.
Right? And it's the same energy, bro. Like, and you go on, like, it's when you run into yourself, you have to ask them, big, when you see them have that, nah, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. But what about when you was doing that?
Mm-hmm.
They doing the hit in the neighborhood for 5,000. If you come and you got what? That's $800,000 worth of jewelry you got on your neck? You're gonna have to come up off that.
Even though it's probably little comfort to her, the new evidence has finally cleared his girlfriend Stephanie's name. and now all people can do is apologize. Still, what PNB's passing represents is a manual for how to navigate through the streets of LA or any other major city, because whenever possible, loved ones need to be aware of what they're posting and what repercussions it may have going forward.
I do think a lot of people owe his girlfriend, Stephanie, an apology. It's clear that she wasn't the person that was responsible for the chain of events that led to his death. But I don't think anyone should apologize for chastising, and not necessarily her, but chastising the habit of women, men, or anybody else when you go out with someone who is known posting locations.
That's fine.
We just gotta be honest. So it's not her fault for this situation, but to be honest, this habit of I have to show y'all where I'm at and what I'm eating is something that's very pervasive among certain people, and that shit cannot be co-signed.
Long live PNB Rock, man. Another artist taken way too soon. As always, it's your boy Whoiscam, and I want to thank y'all for watching today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, you can check one of the 2 videos on the screen, or just drop your boy a like and subscribe. Till next time, my friends, peace.
RIP to PNB Rock. Hey, I'm going to sleep, bro. Peace.